Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to do a bit of a maths lesson. You can have those that are going to say it's impossible, but let me just show you that it is. All right. Now this, I'm kind of doing it for Maxwell, because if you've got a little amount of money of 15 quid, and you look to grow 2% a day, people say, it's impossible, it can't be done. Well, it can, if you do it sensibly. And that is stick to 2%, maybe it's a shade over. And what you'll find is on very small balances, 2% is more than doable. The problem that makes it difficult is you'll gamble, you'll try and do more than what it's trying to give you, and you'll go to the market way too many times. Now, early morning, you can easily get a surge and draw some money. So just as a basic maths, what we're going to do is I'm just going to put an arbitrary figure up here of 2%, or 2 rather, just to help me do this quickly. So I've made this for you, Maxwell, all right, you little baldy bugger that you are. And we are approximately, we're about 100 days out to Christmas, 130 days, something like that. I think it is. Give us a sec. Let me just check how many days it is to Christmas. So at the moment, we're looking at from the 25th of July to the 10th of December, 138 days. Now, we were talking about growing something to like 100 quid to give you something for your kids, all right? So I'm going to do a similar thing where I'm going to grow it for a deposit on a lodge. So I'm going to build a holiday out of this, see what we can find. You want a holiday, Winky?
Yeah.
Comes to something when she's painting down there, right? And she's done a better job than the bloody painters that were here. Fuck you now.
Nearly finished.
You're nearly finished.
Like a lot.
Not to worry. Not to worry. Any road. So, if I just do a quick formula of that, divide by 100 times by what I put in there. Now, I'll lock that formula in, just for those who don't know how to do it. If you put a dollar sign either side of it, it locks that. So it always looks at that section. Right. All you've got to achieve is 30p. Now, if you're using Black Bull, which is a broker that I use, you've got 500 to 1 leverage. You want to use it, there's a link below. You can get 30p because the minimum criteria on a lot of products is around about 10 pence or 0.01. Okay. Now, when I look at this, it works in money, so you've got to work your lot size out. But if you're on cable, pound JPY, oil, like what Maxwell does, to get 30p is quite easy. So on sort of cable, it's like 3 pips. And you do it once a day because you're slightly over leveraged, but it's allowing you 10 pence will go a long way on 15 quid. You know, right. So what's the scenario at the end of the month? Well, there you are. It's just sort of worked it out. What it's kind of telling you is at the end of the month, your growth is huge, all right? Because it's compounding up all the time. In fact, you will kind of double your money in 30 days. There's not a bank in the land that'll do that for you. Not a bank in the land. But here's the thing. Some days you might tip over ever so slightly and do okay. You know, maybe it's 2.1, or it would help if I did that. 2.1, right? Change that. Now it's changed the dynamic massively. You've increased your profit just by having a shade over. And all that is, initially target 2%, 30p. But if you see it at 36 or 38, just close the fucking thing out and then do it again the next day, right? And then there you go. It just runs through constantly over and over. Now, if you run it into month 2, right, and you're doing a similar scenario, and you just run that down to there. Okay, should catch up. There we are. Same scenario. All right, you're now well on your way to 100 quid. Do it again, just like so, and we'll run this down like the one. So that's like 105 days. So it's well before Christmas. Our target point is there, right? So take 93 days. But look at the size of the target at the time. It is only 2 quid, right? So the target's never got big. Now, as you get your accounts bigger, 2% and whatever, I agree, does become very difficult. But if you've got a £10,000 account and you're only looking for 200 quid, that is more than doable. And do you know how I know that? Because you see me do it on a daily basis. You can find 200 quid easy if you've got the buying power and the sort of ability to wait. Now, if I drop that back to 2% just as irrational, okay, where would that take you? So 97 days to get to your 100 quid. All right. Every time you put a little bit extra onto that, say 2.3, all right, it's a fraction above, all right? Where would you get your 100 quid? Well, there you would get it in 85 days. So what that's illustrating for you, kid, is just how little you need to achieve in order to get to your goal. The difference is, do you want to do this in a week, or are you prepared to wait, well, in this case, 85 days? And you can trade 7 days a week now because you can use Bitcoin. You know, case in point. Just drop that over onto there. I've done it, all right? Because I'm going to do this journey with you, kid. So there it is there. It's slammed through, and then I'll be ready tomorrow to start. So tomorrow, I'll do 38p. I'm already well ahead of the game. I could take the day off if I want, because I've already bought the weekend for myself. Hope that will make sense as well. So you can always look to see where you want to go. And what this will do for you, just drop your start date in and it'll start adding the dates up, and it'll tell you where you should be roughly on the day. So in this case, today, I should have been at 4%. I'm actually at 27.7. But we're a couple of days in, so that means nothing at this moment in time. Anyway, kid, I've made that sheet for you. It's in the tools for you, kid. And we'll do this journey together. And we'll see if we can get your kiddie some little presents for Christmas. Hope that one helps you. Catch you soon.